Hello there folks, it's me, FlaSh, back with another history video. This video will speak of the failure that was New Valkyria, which is actually one of the longest standing teams of the server. You will learn the history of how it got from being mocked to being semi-respected and then done the shitter again due to Minecart11's dumb mistakes. This is the story of Minecart11's unprecedented stubbornness, which led him to keep him playing for months, despite being constantly griefed and hated by most of the community. Here to tell the tale for us, we have two very special guests. First one, even the new fans should know him by now. Syotos Green, styled king and drama queen of 9b9t, and a bunch of other roleplay titles. The second one will probably also be remembered by the older community, but the new fans won't have a clue of who he is. I'm talking of Flashback, my old 9b friend. He used to play 9b9t, and he was generally recognized as one of the best PvPers. He griefed countless bases and was a pretty successful 9b9t and later 2b2t YouTuber, until he quit. Syotos and FlaSh have been the biggest enemies of Minecart, griefing most of his bases themselves. And now they're going to tell you the story of New Valkyria, a story of heroism, of wonders, of big players, and of many, many, many stacks of TNT. God, I always wanted to say this out loud. Disclaimer. If you think some of the shit you hear makes zero sense, it's because it doesn't. Minecart was never known for making good decisions, nor for being very rational. Enjoy.
New Valkyria started as one of the many groups of kids that were trying very hard to rip off the bits of 2b2t history that got them from early FitMC videos. The founders of New Valkyria were Minecart11 and Swagnus, whose attention whoring was so massive that it kinda deserves its own video. Together, on the 13th of July, they built NVHQ, short for New Valkyria headquarters, and invited a number of people. The full member list is lost to us, but Minecart listed the following names on the wiki: Rockmaster, Pukutas, StayInSchoolKids, Lada the Builder, Kaisam2, Lee Cats, Huthifa Plays, and myself, Flashback. The first NVHQ was griefed not long after its creation by an unknown player. I was the first one to discover the grief. And since I had joined with the intention of inciting, I logged into my old Cancer Patient 69, which Minecart didn't know about, and griefed the base some more. Cancer Patient took all the blame for it.
NVHQ2 was created around July 22nd. According to the wiki, this one was twice as far as the first one. A number of unhappy members of New Valkyria, among which StayInSchoolKids, Rockmaster and Lada, tried to change the name to something less cringeworthy. However, Minecart didn't like that. So the team split and they kicked him out of the team and tried to make their own base. Since rumors spread that someone had given coordinates to Minecart, StayInSchoolKids then resolved to leak NVHQ2 codes to Cancer Patient, and NVHQ died the same way as the first one had. NVHQ3 was made, but Minecart got bored and dissolved his team. This was the first time New Valkyria was disbanded, but it wouldn't be the last, sadly. New Valkyria had moved to spawn. Brad Armstrong had called for an incursion earlier that month, and obviously the Sato fanboys answered the call, together with other teams such as Destiny and Sunfuria. The first incursion failed completely, as many of the more respected players distanced themselves from such autism.
While we were at NVHQ3, Minecart realized that I was in fact Cancer Patient, but that really didn't bother him. Maybe your mom bragged about having cords to NVHQ3, so the base was abandoned. NVHQ4 was started on August 26. The team reached its peak member count, with the official list counting no less than 33 members. Not all were invited to the base, of course. Less than 20 people were, and not all of them bothered showing up. It must also be said that Minecart11 had a very broad concept of a teammate. For instance, Miniman392 and Syotos Green both expressed surprise when they realized they were on the list. Despite all this, NVHQ4 was likely the best New Valkyria base. Lasting about 2 weeks, people actually had time to build. The base hosted the second map art ever on 9b9t, Pepe, made by myself. No copies of the maps are still in existence. Minecart11 invited former member Huthifa Plays, infamous on 2b2t for being a YouTuber that unironically associated with the so-called resistance, to tour the base for his viewers. Facing protest from the members, Minecart11 went back on his word and withdrew his invitation to Huthifa, instructing me to kill him on sight. That obviously backfired, as Huthifa leaked the coordinates to his friend Maybe Your Mom. That was the end of NVHQ4. Maybe's grief of NVHQ4 is mostly remembered for the time he chased a naked and much faster FlaSh around the base for about 15 minutes.
While the team wasn't disbanded officially, it took some time for Minecart to create a new Valkyria headquarters. NVHQ 5 was built on November 4th. It was while he was basing here that him and I started our feud. NVHQ 5 lasted a little less than 2 weeks, because I sucks at PvP found it by following one of the members. Neo Valkyria decided to blow up the base themselves, when they figured that iSucks had found them and was just waiting for backup.
NVHQ 6 was started on November 25th, but lasted for a very short time. Sun Shark incited the base for us in the very first days. It was so quick that we blew it up before all the members of NVHQ could even reach it. The base was raided by me, Syotos, Dr. 698 and Swagnus.
At this point, our little crusade against Minecart had turned into a fight between the popular kids and the outcasts. Bizabasan had come back to 9B90, and he still held some grudges towards us former Legion members. So, he chose to side with our rivals, such as Minecart11. Biso started his Oasis base, which became a meme due to the screenshot you're seeing right now. Yep, a movement of powerful players, everyone. Yeah. We griefed that base around the same time as NVHQ 6. Minecart had already gotten in contact with Biso's group though, and together they founded P13M, also short for Project 13 Million. It wasn't actually at 13 million, but just at 3 million and then 1 million off the axis. So it was 1-3, not 13, but they used this as a way of misleading the general public. Didn't work though. We griefed their base not long after, though it did last longer than the previous instance. Minecart then gave up on New Valkyria once again and created the Midgard Empire, which was basically a coalition of players against myself. Who they had in? The members of New Valkyria that were closest to Minecart, so Kaisam, Zelice, and FlaSh, who was actually a spy for me. Other than them, Destiny leader Maybe Your Mum, Biso, and the whole team Blitz, led by no one other than Matt Planet. Maybe Your Mum leaked the chords even before FlaSh could, and I griefed that base with flashback.
After Midgard, Minecart decided to try and build something good. Between the end of January and the beginning of February, Minecart and Zelice, who at this point had become his closest companion, built the Cathedral of Lord JJ, which you can see in these screenshots. While it was definitely an upgrade in comparison to Minecart's previous builds, we still destroyed it. Lada leaked the coordinates to us, and me, Miniman, Fibular, and Inmom 2001, aka OX22, griefed it. After this, Minecart disbanded New Valkyria for a while. That is, of course, because of a pure strike of luck he had found Dana, the oldest base on 9B90. Rather than doing what any normal person would do, Minecart decided to base there and force his way in. None of the members objected openly, since they were barely active anyways. Soon, Dana turned into Minecart's own side project, safe from the grasps of Syotos, since nobody really wanted to grief Tentanes' base.
But alas, old habits die hard. In early March, NVHQ 7 was made. It was the last NVHQ to take itself seriously, and for the final chapter of this sad history of New Valkyria, the Auschwitz folks had decided to prepare the most complex insight to ever happen to Minecart11. This took a very big amount of roleplay from people like Turtle, FlaSh, Flashback, and Miniman, but I'll leave the story to those who actually lived it.
NVHQ 7's raid was meant to be Minecart's ultimate lesson. Turtle was one of the first members. He was the one who convinced Minecart to even make the base in the first place. He soon leaked the coords to me, and I left a sign at their nether portal, and a link to a countdown to the grief. As a logical reaction, Minecart started inviting more and more players, maybe hoping that numbers would save him from the raid. In the meantime, FlaSh started dropping Minecart truth bombs about who insided him in the past, with the purpose of making him paranoid about who leaked the coords to me. And while all of that was happening, various NVHQ 7 members were inviting their friends left and right. Furthermore, while talking to Minecart, FlaSh pretended to be some sort of sociopath who hated everyone. And obviously, Minecart did the only reasonable thing, leaking his chat with FlaSh with the purpose of exposing him. Fuck me if I understand his reasoning. Anyways, he thought I won. Yes, I was gonna destroy its base, but FlaSh's betrayal would make me quit in favor of 2B2T forever, while FlaSh's reputation had been single-handedly destroyed. All this while we were having a laugh together in the Auschwitz chat. The countdown ended, and we didn't show up. The few that showed up to put up a fight logged off, thinking it was all just a hoax. We had been preparing in the meantime, and we jumped on them when there was just 2 of them online. The fight was very much one-sided. To give you an idea about how bad they sucked, I'll say that even FlaSh managed to do some PvP.
After this shitfest, Minecart retired to Dohana. NVHQ's 8 and 9 would pop up later in June, but Minecart built them as memes. He became very self-aware in his last days. Eventually, he stopped playing 9v9t for a while, and eventually he came back, just to quit again. But that's a story for another time.
And that's all for this episode. I would like to thank FlaSh and Syotos for narrating the video and providing lots of screenshots. Thanks to Zelice, StayInSchoolKid, and Jot for helping me recreate the story in all those parts that I remembered poorly, and for giving me screenshots. For the next episode, I have a very cool idea that, however, might take some extra time to put together. We'll see. Thanks to you all for watching, and I guess I'll see you next time.